Hi guys, Ape here of the PocketBot Collective, and today we're gonna have a look at... Oh my god! What is that? Alright, that's more like it. For this week's Mercenary Mondays, we're gonna have a look at Mechanic Studios' Poison, or as we know him, Triple Changer Octane. And first, we'll have a look at his accessories. He comes in this nice box, just like their Astro Train came in. Has the artwork on it and his two alt modes, done by Mechanic Studios, which of course is like a subgroup of MechFans toys, I guess. But they come out with original molds. So there you go. We've got him pictured on one side and then more artwork on the other side. Also has the other modes on the back, cargo plane, tanker trucks apparently. He also comes with the frightened head that you just saw and a weapon. And apparently he's an elite worker, good at communication, but very timid and a high EQ. What is interesting though about this box is the bottom of it, because who do we have there? Blitzwing coming soon. I'm looking forward to this guy. But he'll get his chance in the spotlight soon enough. First we're looking at this guy. Also comes with two instruction sheets to get him transformed between his alt modes. Comes with this nicely sculpted gun. It's a bit hollow on one side, but there you go. And he comes with the frightened head, which just has a little screw on the back, and you can pop it onto the ball joint that holds his head. Nicely painted, and it's always good to have some extra heads. So, now, we'll start him off in tanker mode. I'll do some size comparisons for each mode that he has. It's a very nice little truck. Not much articulation to it, except the front wheels roll, the back wheels roll, and there's like a little hidden wheel there, but that doesn't do anything. There's no movement there. Cleans up pretty well, even for the bottom. You can see his other face peeking through there a little bit. And the other articulation it has, you can open the back doors, and look, he's transporting himself in plane mode. But there you go. As for size comparison, I've pulled out my Magic Square Magnus, because he sizes pretty well with this guy, as well as one of the Micromasters. There we go. To give you a bit of a scale reference, he's a bit smaller than Astro Train is. Also in robot mode, there's about a centimeter difference between the two, which we'll also show off later. Which makes his vehicle modes on the small side, so to say. Even though, of course, it's a decent length truck. But if you know this Magnus as well, it's a comparatively small Magnus. So it depends on what you have in your collection. But I think he sizes well with these guys, so no issues there. I like his tanker mode. Like I said, it cleans up well, looks nice. I think Mechanic Studios did a great job there. The paint apps are good. Silver is good. There's a lot metallic blue on the windows. So yeah, he's a good little truck. Right, let's get these guys out of the way. and we'll start transforming him into his cargo plane mode. What we need to do is untap a couple of bits. So what I like to do is untap this bit, which takes part of the roof width. Also on the other side, there we go. That's also tapped into his forearms. So let's get that untapped as well. And then you see it immediately hinges up and out. So we can put that flap in to make the plane wing. Do the same on the other side. Just untap it there. Get it out of the way for a minute. We can also fold out his arms, revealing the head down there, which will turn around in a minute. And I guess we can also flap that open and unpack the feet there. Go. I'll leave this tabbed in for just a minute so it doesn't flop all over the place. Now, what we need to do, you can push the head so it comes up on the other side. And we'll just rotate that around for a minute and put it back in place so it's less visible. Tanker cap, we're also gonna sort of pull everything out there. The two side bits come out, and then there's this little piece in the middle of it that slides out as well and hinges out. Now we'll go to the other side. You can see that there's some little tabs there. So we'll rotate these round, and then there's two holes right up there. One tabs in the bottom, the other one tabs in the top one. So all you need to do is just line that up and just tab it in. Then what we want to do is tilt it a little bit, rotate it around. Show you from the other side as well. There's two little black pegs there and some holes there, and then tab it in. Upside down for tanker mode, but the right side round for cargo plane mode. We'll have a look at that in a minute when we've got him fully transformed. So, then this front bit. Split it apart, it's just tabbed together with a couple of tabs. There we go. What I'll do is I'll move these ones out for a minute because this entire section needs to hinge round. I'll show you what I mean. See, we hinge it up there because the cockpit's hiding inside his legs. But you hinge it all the way out so you can rotate it. Yeah, do that for the other side as well. Hinge it all the way out, rotate it round, and it's going to collapse over the legs. So we can already tab this back in together. Line it up. Let me see. This section now also needs to rotate round. There we go. So the back wheels of the truck and the feet of the robot attached to it can hide into his chest cavity. Now, these wheels will fall down this way, and we'll turn the toes towards, well, the top of the toes or the top of the foot towards the wheels. There you go. And then there's a little hole on this side and a little tab on that side. So when we start rotating everything in, there you go. Just tap that into place and tab these into place. And this is where I do think his size hinders him a little bit. I think if he would have been that centimeter taller, you would have had a little bit more room to do the finicky stuff like this. You can get it, but there we go. Yeah? Right. Close the roof of the cargo plane as well. There we go. And all we've got left to do is the wings, really. Now, for the wings, there's a little hole there. There's a little hole there. And then on the plane, on the wings, there's a tab there and a tab there. So what I tend to do is first tab in the back bit, and then also tab in the front. Same for the other side. Tab in the back piece. Sorry, let me just move that arm out of the way for a minute. There we go. Tab in the back piece, and then we rotate that arm and tab in the front. Then you angle the wings a little bit back, so this lines up. Same on the other side. Tail back up, and there we go. There is his cargo plane mode. Let's have a closer look at it, shall we? I think it's a nice one. It does the job pretty well. I think it does the job better than the original G1 toy. Especially if you're looking at it from a certain angle, it is pretty much perfect. But yeah, of course, you see the front wheels of the cab there. You can see the cab hanging there. It doesn't bug me too much because it also looks like it's just the bay doors of the back of the plane. There's some wheels hanging at the bottom. But other than that, it cleans up pretty well, I think. Has some dark gray paint for the windows with a bit of flake in it. Same as on the stripes on the tanker side. So yeah, I like him. There's not much articulation to it, besides that you can move the wings a little bit. And yeah, this one, it doesn't peg in too much, but it holds. Doesn't move. So for some comparisons, I've got Magic Square's Trust here. They're about the same length, which looks fine in my opinion. I have also got Fans Project's Flame War here, with, again, these guys look fine together, size-wise. And just for a more recent comparison, here is Core Class Starscream, which also works, in my opinion. So there you go. That's it for cargo plane mode. Now, let's get to robot mode. Again, what we pretty much need to do is just untab everything again. So, we'll untab the wings first. Move them to the back. Do the same on the other side. Pretty much reverse of what we just did. First the forearms, then that other little tab. What we can immediately do is hinge the forearms all the way forward now, so they're in position already. We also untab this bit here. Let me turn them around so you can see what I'm doing. And you pretty much just put it all back into place. There we go. I think they did a pretty good job on the cab with the fact that this middle bit comes all the way out. It could have looked very much separated into two halves, so to say, but it doesn't. It cleans up pretty well, so I'm happy with that. We also need to untab these legs. There we go. And the feet, of course, up there as well. And what I'll do is I'll rotate these out of the chest cavity for a minute. So we have a little bit more viewing space. Now, what we do, we again lift up this and push out the head. This one we turn round again. And that will just sit in the chest cavity now. The head is now on the back. Just flip it out and over, and it tabs in, revealing the other head with just a bit of a smirk, a gaze. There's not too much expression in this this face compared to I forgot it, compared to the other face. But there you go. That's his regular head, so to say. Just gonna hinge his arms out for a minute, because what we're gonna do to the legs is exactly the opposite of what we did to get him into cargo plane mode. We again hinge this whole bit out, rotate it round. You can see there's a tab there and a hole there. And there we go. Snap it into place. The feet, they're just going to sit on the back. There you go. And then you hinge this forward, but of course you still need to rotate the toe now the other way around so it can go under there. Same for the other side. Hinge it out all the way. Rotate it round. Sorry. Hinge it back down. Snap it into place. Fold these wheels onto the back. Hinge the foot forward and rotate the toes, which gives him a great amount of ankle rocker, so to say, because his whole ankle swivels round. And then the last thing you need to do, and this flap at the front doesn't move very much, so I'm going to show you from the back. The last thing to do with the legs is, in both alt modes, these hips are positioned downward, so to say, but then for robot mode you just hinge them up. And also on the other side. There you go. That's what you're supposed to do. If of course you want to give the robot mode just that little bit extra length, and I'll show it between the legs. There you go. It's about 0.5 centimeter, I guess. So you can make him a little bit taller if you want to. I don't think it's necessary. I think the hips look better this way. But there you go. Then you can see these little slots up there. And these ones, these ones. So what you need to do is rotate these round and just tab them in. And then this one will tab in there. There's also a little hole there. So it'll just sit like that. Do the same for the other side again. Tab it in. And tab these wings in. Just have a look from the front. Yeah, you can angle the wings down, but I like to have the gray just follow through, so to say. Then we rotate the arms, hinge them forward, rotate, hinge forward. There's ball joints there. Head is on a ball joint, hips are on a ball joint. Feet we just saw, they completely hinged. Cut at the biceps, hinge at the elbow, and we still need to get his hands out. There we go. That's one. The hands don't close completely, which is nice. Fingers are also molded, so he has a bit of dynamics to his hand, which I like. There we go. All cleans up very well. And then the knee, I mean, he can kick all the way back, but he can't kick all the way forward because this flap doesn't allow it to. Can't kick that far out. The knee is on like a soft ratchet. It has 3 positions. This is of course completely straightened. Then there is the second position, and there is all the way back, which makes him pretty sturdy. So let's just give him a bit of a pose, shall we? Oh, by the way, of course, due to transformation, he also has that waist swivel. Hasn't got an ab crunch though, but I don't think he needs it. There we go, and let's give him his gun as well. And there we go for Octane in robot mode. Let me just adjust the camera a little bit, and we will do some comparisons. And I guess we also haven't talked about why this guy is a mercenary, but I'll get into that in a minute. Alright, the reason this guy is a mercenary, because he's not in the Netflix Earthrise show, he's not in the Transformers Earth Wars mobile game, I don't think he's been one in the comics, at least not that I know of, but in the Transformers trading card game, he was classed as a mercenary. So yeah, this guy fits fine in the mercenary roster. Some standard size comparisons first. Lock his knees back in place. Put his arms down for a minute. And there we go. Seeing that we've already compared him to Magic Square's Magnus in the beginning, I'll put Magnus there as well. You can see he's a little bit smaller. And let's put Runabout with him as well. So he's taller than the standard Iron Factory Runabout. He's smaller than the Magic Square Magnus. If you'd also like to see, this is his height compared to Core Class Prime. Let me just move all these guys up a little bit and bring in the recently released Magic Square Motormaster. There you go. Which for me works because, of course, if you're going off of the cartoon, then Motormaster, Octane, Magnus are all cab and trailers. Whereas Optimus is just a cab in the robot mode. So this for me, I think works fine actually. I'm liking this. Now, let me get these out the way and compare him to the other Mechanic Studios Triple Changer. Astro Train. I should really put him the other way. And this is just one of the variants that's out there. Of course, there's 3 variants out there. And yeah, he's that bit smaller than Astro Train is, but it's not that big a difference. Especially because, of course, his wings stick up as well. So that's fine in my book. You can, of course, extend those legs a little bit, which I'll just do for the review, making him just a little bit taller. I wish I was a little bit taller. I wish sorry. But I don't think he needs it. I think it's fine. His size only would have helped during the transformation process, I think, because sometimes you have a little bit of clearance issue. He feels that a little bit finicky then. And I think if he would have been that centimeter taller, then you wouldn't have had those issues. But it is what it is, and I'm happy with it. I can't wait for Blitzwing to arrive and have these guys together. I do have to admit, as soon as he was up for sale, I grabbed him, and then there were so many other things up for sale that I kind of doubted whether I should have. I wasn't sure how happy I would be with him, because for me, Astro Train and Blitzwing are stronger character, so to say, than Octane ever was. So I kind of doubted as soon as I hit that buy button. But now that I have him, he's a fun bot. He's pretty easy to transform between all three modes, and he pulls all of his modes off well. Not excellent, but well enough. On his own, I think he's okay. But where he shines for me is when you put him with other robots. Because when you put him with other bots, he definitely has a presence, so to say. So I'll pull in some mercs. And that's where I think this guy shines. Sorry, can't see double dealer there, but I'll move the camera in a minute. And then you really start to see his full potential, in my opinion. Whereas on his own, he's not that strong. He's fun, but he's not that strong. But amongst a group of bots, it's a definite recommend for me. And he's not that expensive anyway, so great job by Mechanic Studios, in my opinion. And like I said, can't wait to have Blitzwing in hand. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Ape out!